Hello viewers, welcome to our third episode of the Newborn Care Week series. In the last episode, we have gone through a lot about breastfeeding, effective latching techniques, proper position of the mother, adequacy of the milk supply, infant feeding cues, etc. and more, right? So today let us know a little more of the same aspect, that is breastfeeding, but on a different concept. That is the most common breastfeeding problems experienced by a feeding woman. So to talk upon this more, we have our expert, consultant Dr. Aparna, who is a head neonatologist at KIMS Cuddles, Hyderabad. So, hi Doctor, welcome to the show.
Hello.
So, Madam, in the last episode, we have covered a few aspects on how to latch, what are the proper positionings, how to ensure adequacy of the feeding, etc. Right? So, extending the same topic, our viewers would love to know what are the most common breastfeeding issues that a woman generally experiences, and how to address them?
So this is a very pertinent question. There are few complaints or issues that we commonly encounter when we speak to newborn babies' mothers. One of the common things they often say is one is not getting enough milk. So this, what is called as perceived inadequacy of breast milk, is one of the most important complaints or issues that we come across. Now, very often this is more of a perceived inadequacy than genuine inadequacy. If we understand the physiology of normal lactation, most primigravida mothers, which means first-time mothers, would start getting adequate letdown or copious milk production only after around 48 to 50 hours of the birth of the baby. So which means for the first 2 days, most mothers will only get small drops of watery milk, which is also called as colostrum. Now, although it looks very dilute and watery, this milk is very rich in proteins and antibodies, and it's called as the first immunization to the baby. Now, the second aspect here is to remember that few simple measures can help most of the mothers get enough milk. One is to drink plenty of liquids, around 5 to 6 liters of water, milk, dairy products, buttermilk, coconut water, fruit juices, vegetable soups, porridge, all this is to be consumed. To take adequate nutrition. Now we would hear that most mothers would be advised by their families to restrict some aspects of the diet. This is absolutely not essential. And in fact, mothers should take more calories and proteins than what they would normally consume. So taking all vegetables, green leafy vegetables, fruits, dried fruits, egg, even non-vegetarian items is definitely permitted during lactation. The third important aspect is adequate sleep and relaxation. So most mothers get overwhelmed with the various aspects of baby care and do not even get adequate sleep. So adequate sleep is very important for producing relaxing hormones and endorphins, which in turn help the mother to get sufficient milk. This, along with the aspects that we discussed in the previous session, effective latching, frequent feeding, especially at nights, and complete emptying of the breast. And wherever this is not possible, like when the baby is preterm or small, the mother should be advised to completely express the breast milk so that this will lead to more and more production of milk. The second common problem that we often see is the opposite, engorgement. So sometimes what mothers feel is when there is excessive milk production, which baby may not be able to effectively suck and empty, the breast becomes swollen, hard and painful. Sometimes mothers may also develop fever because of this. So this first needs to be promptly identified, and whenever a mother develops engorgement, we advise her to apply warm compresses or altering warm and cold compresses, which help in effective letdown of the milk. Mothers should not wear loose fitting clothes, so good breast support is essential. In extreme cases, it may be necessary to prescribe painkillers. You can take the doctor's prescription, and there are a lot of painkillers like paracetamol itself, which are safe during lactation. And when all these measures still do not help, then the mother should be taught to express milk either manually, or we have breast milk pumps now, which are very easy to use. So warm compresses, adequate breast support, antipyretics, and regular complete expression of breast milk will help the mother to get relieved from engorgement. Now the third common problem is sore nipples. So cracked or sore nipples leading to painful feeding is the third common problem. Sore nipples are usually because of ineffective latching of the baby, that is improper positioning and attachment. So because of this, the baby tends to not get sufficient milk and tends to bite on the nipple, leading to the formation of cracked nipples or sore nipples. So what can mothers do when they have this issue? So the first thing obviously is to improve the positioning and attachment and to ensure effective latching. As we discussed, the baby should latch on to the entire areola and not just on the nipple. This is the first and foremost step. The second step is to apply emollients or ointments, moisturizer. Simple salted butter which is available at home itself can be used. And if it still does not help, we may sometimes have to resort to expression of milk temporarily to help the mother overcome the pain, and after maybe around 48 hours, the mothers may be actually ready to again latch on the baby for breastfeeding directly. And the last issue that we often tend to also see is mothers with flat nipples or inverted nipples. So this is important to be identified right in the antenatal checkups during pregnancy. But interventions should not be started during the antenatal period because rolling or stimulating the nipple can lead to sometimes premature uterine contractions or even maybe a risk factor for preterm labor. So this should be identified and the mother should be sensitized that there will be some steps taken to ensure that the nipple is everted back so that feeding can be ensured. And after the delivery, we can help mothers with what we call as syringing. So we use the reverse syringe is inserted onto the nipple and we help the mothers, we teach the mothers how to pull the nipple gently. And in cases where syringing alone may not be sufficient, there are commercially available nipple formers which can be used for effective latching. So all these problems are all amenable to being overcome by simple measures. So the important step is to keep your doctor informed and to regularly seek for solutions, because at the end of the day, breastfeeding is the best feeding.
Right. So that is what I have been understanding. Despite there are quite many number of problems with regards to breastfeeding, we still advise mothers to feed the babies with the mother's milk only or breast milk. So it means we consider breast milk as the important and the most nourishing food. So, but this is something which most of the mothers miss out and start feeding the babies with formula feeds and all right at the tender ages itself. So could you please enlighten all of our mothers on the importance or the benefits of breastfeeding?
Absolutely. Now, as we just discussed, breastfeeding is the best feeding for the newborn baby. Now, this is said because it is associated with a lot of benefits for the newborn, for the mother, as well as for the family or as a society as a whole. Now, if you look at the benefits for the baby, breast milk gives excellent immunity to the baby. So, it protects the baby from various bacterial, viral, fungal infections. It improves the intelligence quotient. The IQ of the baby is better when the baby is breastfed versus when the baby is formula fed. And the baby is also at a lower risk of developing allergic diseases like asthma or atopic dermatitis when the baby is breastfed. Now, if it's a preterm baby, then the benefits are even more numerous. A preterm baby is at lesser risk of a condition called as necrotizing enterocolitis or inflammation of the intestines if the baby is on breast milk. So there are so many benefits of breastfeeding, and in fact it is the single most important measure which has been found to reduce under 5 deaths in any country. So important is breastfeeding. Now when it comes to the mothers who more successfully and exclusively breastfeed their babies are at lower risk of developing ovary and breast cancer. They also have lesser chance of developing postpartum bleeding because the uterus tends to involute earlier. And of course they can regain the pre-pregnancy weight much more earlier because breastfeeding helps them to shed weight much more earlier, and it is a natural contraceptive. So during this phase of lactation amenorrhea, the mother would not get her period and thereby she is unlikely to conceive. So these are all so many benefits the mother has because of breastfeeding. And if you see as a community, when we have more and more mothers and babies on breastfeeding, the use of plastic bottles, the need for cleaning solutions, the wastage of money and time spent on all these measures is actually substantially reduced. So what else can we ask for?
Right, this is all about the breastfeeding episodes, and I hope you have all gained very good insights, and thank you so much, doctor, for enlightening all of our mothers and in fact the caretakers of those mothers as well on what to do, what not to do, and what are the most common problems and what are the benefits of breastfeeding. Thank you so much once again, and yes, we will be back with our next episode of the series. Thank you.